Hare Krishna. Today we will continue our Bhagavad Gita study with the second chapter. Am I straight to you or am I in a different angle to you?
You're
Is it
straight.
okay?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm straight. Okay. So yeah, we will continue our Bhagavad Gita study. We completed with the introduction of Bhagavad Gita and we had an setting up stage through the introduction, after introduction through the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. The first chapter of Bhagavad Gita name is Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. The Sanskrit name of the first chapter is Arjuna Vishadha Yoga. So after observing the armies on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, what is the condition of Arjuna is the name of the chapter in the Sanskrit. Today we will be doing the second chapter. The bridging verse in between the first chapter and the second chapter is Arjuna cast aside his bow and arrow. He was very much devastated. He was very much not in a position to fight, and he gave very good reasons of why he doesn't want to fight. And then that's how the first chapter ended. Now it's the second chapter, and Krishna did not start speaking yet. Krishna did not start speaking yet. So the second chapter name is Contents of Gita Summarized. Contents of Gita Summarized. It is said that this is the chapter which is very, very important for us to understand the instructions of Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, because this forms the base, foundation. When a house is constructed, when any construction is constructed, at that time the foundation is very, very important. If the foundation is strong, the building is strong. So this chapter is like a foundation for all of our study. The main important topic in this particular chapter discussed is about our existence. Who are we is been discussed here. It's called in Sanskrit as Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga. This is not the exact yoga through which Krishna is telling to Arjuna that you can go back to Godhead, but this is the basis for all the yoga systems. Like there is Karma Yoga, there is Dhyana Yoga, there is Bhakti Yoga. So the basis for all these yogas is to understand our existence. Who are we? That topic is mainly discussed here, and a part at the end discussed is, after knowing who are we, what is our duty. It's not Karma Yoga yet. Third chapter is Karma Yoga, but second chapter gives a glimpse of what is our actual dharma. So let's go with the contents of Gita summarized chapter, Sankhya Yoga. So it starts with the condition, overwhelming condition or situation of Arjuna. He gives reasoning by considering the consequences of the battle. He concluded by saying that he cannot fight. So the scene is set wherein Arjuna is ready to take the instruction, or Krishna couldn't have given this Bhagavad Gita before even Arjuna were asked to Krishna to take him to the middle of the battlefield, right? Because Arjuna was ready then. Arjuna was okay then. But after taking him to the middle of the battlefield, after observing the armies, after looking at the condition of Arjuna, then Krishna, now the time for Krishna to speak. So the this chapter or whole Bhagavad Gita is basically Krishna's response for Arjuna's condition. His eyes were brimming with tears. He was completely filled with sorrow. There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, second chapter, 2.7. You can note it down. 2.7 is the verse. And in 2.7, Arjuna, knowing his condition, he surrenders unto Krishna. See, if you are not ready to listen from me, whom I can give class to, right? In your hearts, you have little bit surrendered to Krishna. In your heart, you have little bit surrendered to your mother, who is your well-wisher, and in your heart, you have surrendered little bit to me, thinking that I can help you with some spiritual knowledge. So like that, we have to have some surrenderance. So that surrenderance point for Arjuna comes now, 2.7. Let me put the lights on. I'm feeling my screen is dull to myself. So this surrenderance of Arjuna is expressed by Arjuna in the chapter, in this chapter, for verse number, oh, these lights are, now I have to change the position of this camera, or else I look like in between two lights, right? I'm in between two lights. Okay, let me put this side, okay, this side also. This is better. No, it's not better. What to do? When it is recorded, you have to take care of many things. If it is not recorded, this is better. This is better. So Arjuna now is surrendering. The 2.7 verse goes like this. So today we are going to do how to, after the class, we are almost before the ending of the class, we are going to do something called how to read Sanskrit in English. So the verse is 2.7. Karpanya dosho pahata svabhava pritchami tam dharma samudha cheta yachreyashyam nishchitam bruhi tanme shishyasteham sadimam tvam prapannam. This is the turning point of Bhagavad Gita, wherein, as we have discussed, that first reason for Bhagavad Gita is question of Dhritarashtra, which was very important. Without that question, Sanjaya wouldn't have told us all this story. In the same way, this is a verse wherein Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna and saying that I am a soul confused. He admits his confusion filled condition and says that I am confused about my duty and I have lost all the composure because of my miserly weakness. In this condition, I surrender unto you and request you, tell me for sure what is the best thing to do right now. Tell me for sure. Nishchitam means for sure. Bruhi means tell. Tanme means to me. Nishchitam bruhi tanme. Miserly weakness. Dosha means weakness. Miserly means kripana. Miser means kripana. So karpanya dosha means because of this my miserly weakness of having attachment, I'm not able to decide what to do or what not to do. This condition change your understanding. In the first chapter, he was saying I cannot fight at the end. But in the starting, after few verses and thinking about his condition, Arjuna decided to surrender on to Krishna. Like when you are confused, when you are totally confused, bewildered, what to do, what not to do, sometimes you take a decision I don't want to do. But later, you think about it and you think that it is better to surrender to someone in a higher authoritative position who can help you. That's what is the condition at 2.7 of Arjuna. Now I am your disciple. That's what Arjuna says. Sishyasteham. Aham means myself. Sishyasteham means I am the disciple. I'm taking this position of disciple. A soul surrender unto you. Sadimam tvam prapannam. Sadimam means please. Tvam prapannam means instruct me. Please instruct me what to do. That's what Arjuna is saying. Very nice chapter wherein we learn how to surrender unto a higher authority. He admits that he cannot find any means to drive away this grief. There are many people, right? Okay, I'm sorrow, but I'll deal it with myself. That I'm into depression, but I'm going to deal myself with it. No, at the time when you cannot help yourself, you have to take the help. So Arjuna is saying, I cannot by any means drive away this grief. I need help. Then in the verse 2.11, so 2.11 is the first verse wherein Krishna starts speaking. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, it starts with. When Arjuna is speaking, it is said that Arjuna Uvacha. When Sanjaya is speaking, it is said Sanjaya Uvacha. When Dhritarashtra is speaking, it is said Dhritarashtra Uvacha. But when Krishna is speaking, it is not said Krishna Uvacha. It is said Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So let's little bit understand about this word Bhagavan. This word Bhagavan definition is given by Parashara Muni. Very important personality. Parashara Muni. Who is Parashara Muni? Parashara Muni is the father of Vyasadeva. We have talked in the first class, remember girls, about Vyasadeva. Vyasadeva is the spiritual master of Sanjaya, who is narrating all this Bhagavad Gita to us and to Dhritarashtra. And how did he get that? Is because of the Divya Drishti, or the divine vision given by his spiritual master Vyasadeva. So now Vyasadeva's father is Parashara Muni. He is highly intellectual. He is highly intellectual, and he has the mercy of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. So he is like walking dictionary for anything we want to know from Dharma. So that Parashara Muni have given the definition of this word Bhagavan. It's a Sanskrit word, Bhagavan. Bhaga means opulence. B-H-A-G-A. Bhaga. We are splitting the word Bhagavan, because you will hear this Bhagavan word many times in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavan Uvacha, Shri Bhagavan Uvacha, Bhagavan Uvacha. What does that mean? Bhagavan means, Bhaga means opulence, opulences, like everything that is good, opulence. And then Van means one who possesses those things, like Shaktiman, Shaktivan, Pav. So the one who has these opulences is told to be Bhagavan. And what are these opulences what Krishna has? It has been mentioned in Shastras, Upanishads, Srimad Bhagavatam. It's another wonderful literature. If time permits and Krishna's mercy is there, we will also do Bhagavatam, which your mother is doing right now with me. So Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 16th chapter, 22nd verse, speaks about these opulences. Aishwarya, Virya, Yashaha, Shriya, Jnana and Vairagya. These 6 things, 6 opulences. What makes Krishna Bhagavan from his amshas or other personalities of divinity is that Krishna possesses these all 6 qualities in full, 6 opulences in full at all the time. One may think I'm the richest. What is it called? Topmost millionaire or topmost richest person, second topmost, third topmost, like that, right? So he can be richest, no doubt, in this material world, on this earthly planetary system. He might be the richest of the rich, but he cannot be rich all the time. He was not rich all the time. He may not be rich all the time. Things change. And he cannot be all other things also together. He can be rich, but he cannot be most famous. He cannot be most beautiful. He may not be most knowledgeable. He may not be most renunciate. But all of them together, not possible at all. Maybe in combination it is possible. Somebody can be beautiful and at the same time famous, because when you are beautiful, you become famous also. But when that beauty goes off, that beauty doesn't stay the same beauty. When you are a child, you are beautiful, but in a different way. When you are a youth, you are beautiful in a different way. But when you become old, you lose famous because you are old beautiful, not young beautiful, right? So things change. But here in Krishna's characteristics, Krishna's opulence features, he is full with these 6 opulences, full. And he has everything at the same time. He possesses, he carries everything at the same time. That's why he's called Bhagavan, one who possesses all these 6 opulences in full all the time is called Bhagavan. So now let's discuss about Krishna's response to Arjuna's condition. This is about Bhagavad Gita. It starts with this. This forms a foundation for us to understand Bhagavad Gita in a productive way. Now Krishna is hearing Arjuna, Krishna is seeing Arjuna, Krishna is understanding Arjuna's devastated situation, and then Krishna starts speaking. He starts saying, my dear Arjuna. He starts saying, he addresses Arjuna as dear first, and he immediately starts guiding, because Arjuna has surrendered. And he says, whatever is the best you tell me, I'm ready to take it. So he's saying, Krishna is saying to Arjuna, how come these impurities come upon you? They are not at all befitting a person who knows the value of life. You're a strong girl till you go to the exams. You're preparing to your best. You're spending your time, energy, focus, everything on something, and you go to the exam hall and you say that I don't feel like going to the exam hall and taking an exam, right? Then what would the people whom you know would say? This is not you. How come this happened to you? They are not befitting a person like you. Here Krishna adds the word who knows the value of life. The Sanskrit word is Aryan, Aryan. You might have heard this name in your acquaintances. Aryan, A with an horizontal line on the top that makes this sound elongated. Aryan, Aaryan or Aryan, whatever. Aryan means one who knows the value of the life. And Krishna is saying, why you are behaving like Anaryan? Anything A kept before a word, it makes the opposite meaning. So Anaryan, Anarya Justan Aswargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna. You are not behaving like a person who knows the value of life. You are a person who knows the value of life, but you are not behaving like a person who knows the value of the life. What is this Aryan? One who conducts his life through the spiritual, dharmic values. It's not said that you should not work. Krishna is not saying Arjuna to leave the battlefield. That's what Arjuna says. I want to leave the battlefield and go to the forest and beg alms and live. But Krishna says, no. You have to perform your duty. So Krishna is not encouraging here non-working. Krishna is saying that you have to work in such a way that your priorities will be your spiritual, dharmic values. That is Aryan. So Arjuna is an Aryan. Arjuna is the one who knows the value of the life. And Krishna is saying, I did not expect this Anaryan behavior from you. And such Anaryan behavior will not lead you to higher planetary system. Instead, it will lead to the infamy. That's what Arjuna was saying, that, right? If I kill these people, I will go to the hellish planetary systems. It is said in scriptures. So Krishna is saying, if you leave the battle, you will go to hellish planetary system. Do not yield to this degrading impotence. Wow, impotence, strong word, right? Do not yield to this degrading impotence. And Krishna says, give up this petty weakness of the heart. The Sanskrit word used in Bhagavad Gita is Hridaya Daurbalyam. Hridaya means heart, Daurbalyam is weakness. And Krishna is asking Arjuna to come out of this Hridaya Daurbalyam. Give up this petty weakness of the heart. Yes, this is compassion, but wrongly placed compassion. You are having compassion for the souls. You are having the compassion for the living entities whom you see before you because you are connected to them. You understand? Niyati and Nishita. He is a Kshatriya. I'm sorry?
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Why is Krishna, I feel like, why is Krishna, like, in a way, like, disencouraging Arjuna instead of, you said, like, the last chapter that Arjuna is, like, strong, right? Like, the fact that he's having these thoughts of question makes him a stronger person. It's not a negative thing. So Arjuna should know that, right? Krishna should know that Arjuna is, like, a good disciple and he doesn't mean it in a way that's, like, negative. So when he's talking to his student and telling him, why is he disencouraging him instead of making him understand?
Yeah. Krishna is the supreme personality of the Godhead. He is present in each and everybody's heart as Paramatma. Krishna already knew the condition of Arjuna before even he getting into the midst of army, because though Arjuna was externally saying yes to everything, his heart still had this fear of how would I face my elders and acharyas like Dronacharya and Bhishmacharya? So Arjuna knew the condition, and at certain times, Ishita, at certain times, the situations are held when you know a person differently with different personalities. Maybe your mom will instruct you in a different way, and your mom will instruct Niyati different way for the same situation, because she knows you both and she knows your personalities both. So Krishna knows the personality of Arjuna, who is soul surrendered, who knows the value of the life, but he got bewildered, and Krishna is not discouraging or chastising Arjuna, but Krishna is provoking or invoking the quality of a Kshatriya, which Arjuna is there, which Arjuna is. So Krishna is kind of reminding Arjuna what you are supposed to be and how you have to act. When Prabhupada came to this country, the airport officials asked Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of this whole ISKCON movement. He was asked by the airport officials, like, why are you coming here? That's a general question, right? When any visitor comes, they ask, why are you coming here? One for the sightseeing, or somewhere to see my kids, or for graduation, or whatever it is. So when he was asked, Prabhupada said that I'm not here to give anything new to you guys. I'm here to remind that which you have forgotten. So Arjuna has, in this position, because of direction of Krishna, divine direction of Krishna internally from Arjuna's heart, is acting from a platform wherein he is completely bewildered. So for a completely bewildered soul, if you say Ayya, Ma, Appa, Nana, Bangaru, it won't work. We have to remind them of their valor. Always Krishna saying Dhananjaya, Kaunteya is to remind Arjuna of his position of being a strong warrior who can fight for his right. So he's trying to lift him up. He's not trying to discourage him. Instead, he's trying to lift him up to his actual position. Krishna knows he is the best, or else he would have chosen somebody else to give Bhagavad Gita. Why Arjuna only? Right? So Krishna is using Arjuna as a calf. You know calf? The little cow. When you try to milk the cow, here the system is all corrupt system, wherein they don't use calves, they use directly the machines to take the milk. But generally the cows won't give the milk, or their udders doesn't start giving the milk happily unless first it is been drank by its calf. So they just send the calf first, and once the calf is full of tummy, and then it's enough for it. Sometimes calves don't know how much they are drinking also. They keep on drinking, which is not good for their health. So the cow take carer will know how much the calf's time is, and then he takes off the calf and then tries to get the milk out of the cow. So like that, here Krishna is sending Arjuna as the calf, and the person who is milking is Krishna, and what he is milking is the spiritual knowledge. This is Bhagavad Gita. The cow is the spiritual knowledge. The milk is the spiritual knowledge. Cow is the giver of the spiritual knowledge, and the person who is milking the cow is Krishna, and the calf is Arjuna. Got it? Is it clear? Good question. Good question. Yes, Krishna is not discouraging Arjuna, but Krishna is uplifting Arjuna's consciousness to what he is. So that's what he says. He's able to read the mind of Arjuna even before getting into the midst of the army. So what Krishna is giving here after 2.7 surrenderance is the knowledge of the self. He did not give this knowledge in the starting when he came to battlefield. He gave the knowledge when the disciple surrenders unto Krishna. Without surrenderance, it's very difficult, because without surrenderance, you cannot understand. You cannot have questions. Now Arjuna has a question. I'm confused. Now help me. All the material activities, girls, are the sources of perplexity. Believe me. Oh, not Mataji, not all activities, but all activities. Because at the end, there is no permanent happiness there. So all material activities are the sources of perplexity for the human beings, and to get out of this situation is the way out to accept some bona fide spiritual authority who can give us proper guidance. That is called guru. Here teachers are not ideal teachers, not everybody, but you can see what the teachers do. Smoking is bad for health, that's what they teach in the middle school or high school, whatever it is. And when you see from the window, the same teacher is going outside and smoking in the recess. So it's not exemplary. Acharya, the teacher, Sanskrit word is Acharya, and that Acharya meaning itself, like Bhagavan meaning we understood, Acharya meaning itself is to be exemplary. All that we do on our own is good if we are realized, but once we realize that we are not realized of our eternal nature, you have to surrender unto a guru who can give the proper guidance. All the Vedic literature concludes this knowledge. So the lesson to be learned is we have to surrender. It's not like surrendering to the police, but we are in this Maya world. This is a big jail or prison house, and we have to surrender. And how does these impurities come upon, or how does these perplexities come upon, not impurities, perplexities or the problems come upon us, is nothing like always that you have done something so you have got this. This is like a forest fire. It's an analogy, metaphor. Forest fire, does it blazes with some reason? No. Does you go and put a fire in the forest? No. The forest fire blazes without anybody's lighting the fire on it. So these perplexities also come in our life as we live in this material world, because this material world quality is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. Dukkhalayam means world of misery, and it is very temporary. So at that time we have to act like Arjuna. Arjuna also got bewildered. Arjuna also expressed his no to whatever Krishna wanted him to do, but at that time we have to surrender. That's how teachings of Bhagavad Gita begin. Krishna starts speaking to Arjuna by letting him know that what you are doing or what you are thinking not to do is not right. Those who are learned, he starts his instructions saying that those, first was the question, how come these impurities come upon you? These do not befit a person like you, and you are not behaving like an Aryan who knows the value of life. Then he starts speaking, wherein he gives these instructions. So from now onwards, whatever we will be doing next half an hour, 30-35 minutes, whatever it is about the direct instructions of Krishna to Arjuna. Those who are learned, those who are wise, understand carefully, those who are learned or wise do not lament for the body. This is the starting instructions. Yes, we are in this body. We have something called senses, we have something called mind, we have something called intelligence, we have something called feelings, we have something called attachments, we have something called relatives. Everything is dependent on I and mine. So Krishna is saying we should not lament on this body. What does Krishna mean we should not lament for this body which is temporary? What is the basis for this wise person's understanding what Krishna is saying? The basis for the learned or the wise person's understanding is a big fact. Note it down, kids. It's a big fact of we all being spirit souls. This is the basis. We all being spirit souls is the basis of a wise man's understanding of how to take up the life. All the problems, all the perplexities are because of our misconception that we are the body. Mataji, Arjuna never expressed that he is a body. Why Krishna is stressing the point of body here? Arjuna never expressed he is a body. Arjuna never expressed that he is a body, but Arjuna is acting on the understanding of bodily relationships. Dronacharya being his teacher, Bhishmacharya being his grandfather, his cousins being his cousins, his uncles being his uncles, his whoever, well-wishers being well-wishers. All these identities or all these relationships or all the attachment towards these relationships is coming from the bodily identification. Yes or no? If Arjuna was not in Arjuna's body, then would these relationships matter for Arjuna? No. No, they won't matter for Arjuna. Now why it is mattering? Because why it is to be considered, why Arjuna is considering these things? Because he is related to them. And how he is related is through the body. If Arjuna is in a different war scenario, let's say Pandavas or Kauravas both are, let's say, hypothetical situation wherein Pandavas and Kauravas are in the same team, and the opposite team is some other enemy. Would Arjuna say, oh, I don't want to kill them, I don't want to kill them, oh poor people, I don't want to kill them? Will he say that? No. He will chop, 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 chop. That's it. But now Arjuna is telling like this because he is able to relate these all people through the bodily identification. This is very, very important point which forms the basis for the whole Bhagavad Gita. Body is an external covering for the real I. Body is the external covering for the real I. Very important point. Now what is this I? I have given this example, I think, when I came to your house also. If a teacher asks the student, what is this? He would say, this is my nose. Where a teacher asks, what is this? He would say, this is my ear. If a teacher asks, what is this? He would say, this is my eye. This is my mouth. This is my neck. This is my face. And who is that my then? My nose, my ear, my mouth. Who is that my then? You don't say nose is me. You don't say mouth is me. You say this is my, this is my, this is my. What is that my? Is the consciousness or the soul pervading in your body. So you are the soul in this body. You are not the body in the soul, or no blah blah understanding. The straight understanding is you are a spirit soul in this body. Body is the external covering, and this external covering of human body is the best thing what one can have. In an animal body, the dog cannot go beyond eating, sleeping, mating and defending. There is no higher intelligence with which it can think, who am I? But when the soul is inside this human body, the soul is there in every living entity. The mosquito, the ant, the bug, the bed bug, the fly, whatever it is, everything there is soul. But those all souls cannot utilize the purpose of their existence if they are not in the human body. And there is it's not like they will not get final destination at all. There is a evolutionary method in which they can get into human body, and then they can, not Charles Darwin theory or something like that, evolution in a Sanatana Dharma is different, but accordingly once they come to the human life, they will get this mercy. And they have no restriction. If a dog crosses the road, will the dog be taken to the jail? No. But if you cross the road on a red light or whatever it is, green light, which we should not, you will be fined or you will be punished for that. Or if you understand what I am saying, right? Their intelligence is less, so the consequences for the actions they do is also less. Their rules and regulations are different. But let's come back to Arjuna here. He himself, Krishna says, I, he himself with a H caps means he is talking about himself as Krishna, Arjuna, and all the assembled living entities there are eternal beings. Here we are coming to the concept of the nature of the spirit soul to be eternal, the body to be temporary. So he is saying, you all seeing these all people here, all the Akshayanis, 11 Akshayanis this side, 9 Akshayanis that side, you yourself, myself, we all are eternal beings. They were present in the past, they are present now, and they will continue to be there like this in the future also. Eternal existence, eternal individuality. and that has to do nothing with the body. They are eternal, including the soul in the dog, which the lady is taking walk before my big glass window. The lady is eternal, the dog is eternal, because both are souls, both are not bodies. They are in different bodies, but the soul inside them is eternal. Everyone is changing their body. Yes, you agree? From the time they are born, their body is not the same, especially human beings. At the stage of when you are born as a little baby, tiny baby of whatever pounds, you are an infant, that's a different body. And then when you go to boyhood, youth, it's a different body. And when you go to old age, it's a different body. And at the time of death, it's totally different body. And after the death also, it is totally different body. So the body is different, body is changing, so it is temporary. But what stays within that body permanently is the soul, and that is the life source of everything, and that is unchanging. The spirit soul, you see the reincarnation, some science museums you see, right? Spiritual science museums, the soul is going from one, in Bhagavad Gita itself, in the Bhagavad Gita center pages, if you see some pages in the Bhagavad Gita, you can see this process of here you see this picture, not maybe very clear, but you can see here, right? Here a little baby is born in the bottom, and here at the end the person is dying. But what is the common thing in all these stages is that spark of light which is shown in the heart region, and that is the soul, and that doesn't change. Soul doesn't grow by the age. If it keeps growing, then there won't be enough place in the heart for the soul to stay. Our soul doesn't undergo these changes of degradation or getting old or giving children or offsprings. The body gives us offsprings, not the soul. So basically here to say that we are different from our body. We are the spirit soul within this body. And Krishna is telling that to Arjuna. You are different from your body. You are the spirit soul within this body. You are the unchanging spirit within this body. And Krishna says to Arjuna, during the discharge of one's duties, or during discharging your own duties, you should learn to tolerate the non-permanent appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress. What is the condition of Arjuna now? It's distress. And Krishna is saying that you have to tolerate this non-permanent appearance and disappearance of happiness and distress. Happiness and distress are the dualities. And Krishna is saying you have to tolerate these dualities of being happy. And you cannot get morose, you cannot get disappointed, you cannot go to depression, you cannot stop doing what you have to do because you are sad. Yes, there are a lot of situations. Yes, Niyati, in your life also there are a lot of situations where you are sometimes happy and sometimes distressful. But what Krishna is saying is, this happiness and distress in your life are like the coming and going seasons. The weather, the seasons, especially in America, you say everything different every day. It is said WWW, weather, work and wife. These three things are always changing. Not wife in many of our communities, but that is not permanent. That keeps going, changing. Like Krishna says, Krishna doesn't say WWW, but Krishna says only weather. Okay, the weather changes are not permanent. In that way, this happiness and distress and any duality in the life is not permanent. It keeps changing. And what one sober person, intelligent person should do is tolerate this non-permanent appearance and disappearance of dualities. Tam sthitik shashva bharata. The verse goes like this. Matra sparshastu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhada agama apayino anityas tam sthitik shashva bharata. Anityas. Agama apayino. They come and go. And these all arise from the sensory perception, how you take it. Matra sparshastu. Because the same situation for a strong person, it may not be so much devastating. For a weak person, he may go till suicide also. So how you take it up matters. And Krishna is saying you take it up strongly, this situation wherein you are there put to kill somebody who is very dear to you. Tolerate this duality and then be steady. When you are like this, in this position of being steady and tolerating the situation, you are eligible to get the proper guidance from the Paramatma, or else your Paramatma becomes your mind and it can bewilder you at any moment. That's what is happening with you, Arjuna. So Krishna is directly giving instruction that tolerate the situation and act with proper knowledge. And here I am to give you the proper knowledge. Arjuna, why Krishna is saying Arjuna to fight? One important thing, I'll share it with you here now. The other party, Duryodhana, Krishna went and gave the instruction not to fight. But the same Krishna came to Arjuna and saying fight. The instruction is different for both of them. It depends on dharma. It depends on what is right to be done and what is not right to be done. Duryodhana fighting the battle, though Krishna said it is not right, is his sense gratification. He's trying to gratify his sense of mind or whatever, greed or whatever it is. That's called sense gratification. Arjuna not fighting, though Krishna is asking him to fight, is also sense gratification, because he is also listening to his mind. Seemingly for us it feels like, oh, such a nice person Arjuna, he doesn't want this bloodshed, he doesn't want this victory, he doesn't want this kingdom, he doesn't want this riches, so he wants to just go. It's not an individual decision. Arjuna is in a leadership position. Arjuna is a king. He's not just doing for himself. Himself also this is good to do, but he's not only just doing for himself, but he has to do for the whole country. He is the representative. He is the caretaker. His nature is Kshatriya. Kshatriya dharma. Kshatriya means one who protects. So Krishna says, you are not the body, you are the soul, so do not lament for this body which is temporary. These are all souls. And they existed before, they are existing now, and they will not cease to exist in the future. They will be there forever. Because Arjuna was saying, I'm killing, right? When you understand the existential, natural position of you are being the soul cannot be killed. Krishna further explains the nature of this spirit soul. Spirit soul is a tiny, tiny, tiny spiritual atom. We cannot see with our eyes, we cannot see with microscopes, we cannot do anything with that, because the size of, anyhow, symptom of the soul's presence, how we can feel is not by seeing, is not by touching, is not by, but you can feel it through the consciousness which spreads all over the body. When a person dies, what do we say? He left the body, she left the body, or they left the bodies. Who left the bodies? So the person is there, we say he is not conscious, right? How a person becomes conscious is by having the consciousness, and that consciousness is the symptom of the presence of the soul. Some people have near-death experiences, right, wherein the soul moves out and comes back immediately in a period of splash of minutes or seconds, and in that period of splash of minute or a seconds, he will experience everything, outer body experience. He can go to his mom and see in India what she is doing. He can go, and it is science. It is science. Doctors say there are proven cases wherein they declare them dead, and after a few seconds the soul comes back to the body. So the presence of the soul, the symptom of presence of the soul is the consciousness. And the soul is unborn, eternal, and the primeval. It existed from long time. What is the age of the soul? We don't know. It existed from the existence time. And what are the features of the souls? Let me explain you. Nayanam chindanti shastrani, nayanam dahati pavakaha, nachayanam kledayantyapo, nasoshayati marutaha. What is Krishna telling to Arjuna is, okay, I'm saying you are soul, you are trying to understand. Now let me tell you the qualities or the characteristics of this soul. The soul cannot be destroyed by any weapon. The soul cannot be burned by the fire, because weapons can destroy anything, right? Guns or knives or swords can do anything, but the weapon cannot destroy the soul. Fire cannot burn the soul. Fire can burn anything, so fire cannot burn the soul. Wind cannot wither off the soul. Like when a tornado comes, when this tsunamis comes or whatever happens, the wind blows out in such a way that trees are uprooted, big trees. right? So the wind cannot wither the soul, or the water cannot moisten. Is there anything that cannot be moistened by with the water? Cannot be moistened? No, not possible. But the soul cannot be moistened by the water also, because for the soul there is no death, there is no destruction, there is no deterioration with the age. The soul doesn't even have an age. It exists eternally, and it's the primeval. Krishna is called that Anadiradir Govinda, right? He is the most primeval Lord. We do that prayer. In the same way, soul is also primeval. At that time of death, the material body of the living entity is destroyed. At that time, the living entity, the so-called soul, still exists. But it is not in this body. That's why we call this body is dead body. When the soul is inside, we call this as living body. Mama, papa, grandma, grandpa, sister, sibling, lover, beloved, whatever it is. But only as long as the soul of that living entity is in that body. The person whom you cannot sleep without on your bed at all, the same person, when the soul lives, you cannot sleep with the dead body on the bed. Maybe your consciousness would say, okay, I want to sleep with him or her, but the body starts deteriorating, it starts smelling bad, and it is no response from that body without the soul. You will not be able to accept this everlasting, all-pervading nature of the soul is explained to Arjuna, because Arjuna is getting bewildered that he is killing them. There are so many planets, right, kids? There are so many planets. So there are different living entities in the different planetary system. We say somebody went to Mars, somebody went to Moon, whatever it is, right? In those planetary system, does life exist? Yes, life exists. Does the life has that bodies for those souls? Yes, there will be bodies for those souls. But those bodies, not human bodies, but whichever the bodies they are, those all bodies are made suitable for that living environment. Right? We cannot go and live there. So the bodies change, not only just in this material world, in this earthly planetary system, but in the other planetary system also bodies are there. They are different. So the bodies change. But in those planetary system also, this soul doesn't change. Child to old age, our body changes. What child to old age? Last 1.5 years back, I did not have this melasma and pigmentation. I was like kind of the person in the beautiful scale. Last 3 years back, I was not so much weight. I was thinking I was good in my physique, in my position. Changes. How much ever you maintain your body, at the time of death, you become old. I mean, natural time of death, you become old. Your skin changes, your brain skin changes, your hair changes. Nobody has black hair till 100 years old. Nobody. Unless they die, that's a different story. But yeah. So this nature of the body and bodily things is temporary. Krishna is explaining that you are not the body. At the time of death, it is as simple as it is for the soul. Like the soul is moving. Just now I showed you the picture, right? From the birth till the death, the stages. As simply the soul is moving from one stage. It's not moving, it's in the same body, but the soul remains the same while the body changes. In the same way, when the body becomes useless, then the soul changes from this body to another body. And an intelligent person will not get bewildered by this change. That's what Krishna is saying. Body is meant to be deteriorated. 8 అయిపోతుంది నాన్న, మనం సగం చాప్టర్ కూడా చేయలేదు, ఇంకా చాలా చెప్పాలి. But 10 more minutes because we started late. So this body is temporary and we take another body as spirit souls. So the death word is described in Bhagavad Gita as change of the body. You can note it down here. Death is described as change of the body. Death doesn't describe like you are dead. If you say you are dead, the soul has to be dead. The soul cannot die. The soul is eternal. Soul's dimension is explained in the Upanishads. How does the soul actually, what is it? So soul's dimensions, the size and everything is explained in Upanishads as the soul's size is 1/10,000th part of the, not hair, the tip of the hair. The tip of the hair you can see, but if I get old I cannot see that also with my vision capacity. But 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair, no microscope or no any scope is been yet invented to see the 1/10,000th part of the tip of the hair of the soul. So it is invisible, it is inconceivable because of its spiritual characteristics. This body can be visible, this body can be conceivable because we can see through our material senses or with the help of some things, but the soul cannot be. So whatever the changes in us are happening, kids, is just because of our body and mind. The changes happen, right? The attitudes change, the nature change, the behaviors change. This is all because of the mind, and external features change because of the body. And Bhagavad Gita speaks about a beautiful verse, vasamsi jirnani yatha vihaya navani grasnani naroparani. The verse speaks about how this changing of the soul or moving the soul out of, what is the nature of this soul and body is been explained. What does it say? As a person puts on new garments, giving the old and worn out clothes, in the same way, similarly, the soul accepts a new material body, giving up the useless and old bodies. Why I'm saying useless and old bodies? That's a natural way of leaving the body. I'm not talking about the bodies like people who commit suicides with a good body, bad mind. I'm not talking about this. Natural way is the soul moves into another body. It's a natural procedure. That change of the body is named as death, or it is said as rebirth, punarjanma. నెక్స్ట్ జన్మలో ఎట్లుంటాడో ఏమో, ఎక్కడ పోయినాడో ఏమో, ఏ బాడీలోకి పోయినాడో ఏమో, అదే ఆయన మళ్ళీ నీకు సన్ లాగా వస్తారు, మీ నాన్న చనిపోయారు, ఆయన మీ సన్ లాగా వస్తారు, ఆ సోల్ వచ్చేసి ఇంకొక బాడీ తీసుకుంటే. సో దెర్ ఇస్ అ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ రీఇన్కార్నేషన్, దెర్ ఇస్ అ కాన్సెప్ట్ ఆఫ్ సోల్ మూవింగ్ ఇన్ టు అనదర్ బాడీ. Birth is certain. When birth is certain, death is certain. When death is certain, rebirth is certain. So we should not lament in doing the unavoidable duty in this body. As a body of yours, you are brahmachari right now, your ashrama is brahmacharya. Your nature is what? You have to dig in out. I'm a brahmana, I'm a kshatriya, I'm a vaishya, I'm a shudra. You have to dig in. And in any varna or any ashrama, there is a way to go back to Godhead, taking the help of other varnas and ashramas. So rebirth, birth to death to birth again, is called rebirth, and we should not think or lament or take a step back like Arjuna in performing our duty. Arjuna's duty as a kshatriya is to protect himself and protect the citizens. Krishna till now has explained about the nature of the body and soul. This is called analytical divisioning of our existence. That's it's called Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya Yoga means analytical divisioning. So what we understood, or Krishna explained to Arjuna here, is the body is the matter, soul is the spirit. Matter is subjected to change and it is destructible. Matter lacks a permanent identity. I'll give you an example, Prabhupada's example. Prabhupada shares like this. Suppose this big tree is there in front of my eyes. Through the window I'm seeing very big tree trunk. And when you travel also long distance traveling, like long drives you go, you see these all big trees, right? Woods, trees, oak woods, whatever you call. And that wood can be transformed into a table. On here what I am seeing, right? That wood can be transformed into a table. So that wood's existence or identity is not just permanent as a bark or the trunk of the tree, but it can be transformed. The tree trunk can be transformed into a wooden table, wooden chair, wooden something. The table can again be broken and used for some other purpose, for a firewood or something. So the nature can be changed of the matter, but the spirit soul is unchangeable. So we are spirit souls and we are essentially unchanging in our spiritual nature. We are unchanging. That is the quality of us being the spirit soul. ఓ ఆమె చాలా బాగుండేది ఇప్పుడు చాలా బ్యాడ్ గా అయిపోయింది ఆమె చాలా కైండ్ ఉండేది ఇప్పుడు చాలా అరోగెంట్ గా అయిపోయింది these all behavioral changes attitude changes are completely related to the body and mind nothing to do with the soul is always sat chit ananda we read in our prayer right satchidananda vigraha repeat cheyamantam kada sat ante eternality chit ante knowledge ananda ante bliss we as spirit souls are always these three things satchitananda that which is changing in a person is related to the body and mind so the body and mind are material are matter the soul is spirit it's spiritual yes and Krishna explains about other things as a continuation session in the same Bhagavad Gita other than this knowledge of body and soul because we are the soul we have to make sure we always carry this point in our mind that we are the soul in this body I'm not saying that we should not take care of the body is a car you have to go from one place to other place you have to take care of that car unless if you don't take care of the car it will break down at any in the middle of the road or you may end up in accidents so you have to take care of this body but you have to always realize that you are not the car but you are the person inside the car you are not the body but you are the soul inside that body we are eternal we are individuals we are unchanging spirit souls as spirit souls we never die death is just change of the body so we should prepare ourselves for this change at the time of death by the time of death so life is a preparation for the examination of death if you don't prepare the whole life of knowing the fact that we are not the body knowing the fact that all these bodies which are attached to us is bodily identification then it will be very difficult for us to leave this body and go into another body this is all kind of whole major part of second chapter which is analytical divisioning of the existence matter spirit body soul it non permanent permanent or temporary and permanent everlasting eternal conscious unchanging immutable these all words are applicable for this soul now Krishna explains something about the second small portion of Bhagavad Gita second chapter is about dharma yuddha ఇది బేసిక్ అని చెప్పాను కదా నేను ఇది ఫౌండేషనల్ స్టడీ అని చెప్పాను కదా వన్స్ Krishna gave the explanation about you are not the body you are the soul and you have to act on the platform of being soul or you have to act on the platform of being soul in this body of your varna and ashrama then how to work is explained by the dharma yuddha Krishna is saying what you are doing what you are thinking is a massacre what you are thinking is killing what you are thinking is bloodshed all these things are not about the dharma so what you are performing here is dharma yuddha that's why first verse what did Dhritarashtra say dharma kshetre kurukshetre we did an understanding on what is dharma kshetra and what is kurukshetra right dharma kshetra means where the righteousness prevails where the righteousness wins over so fighting on the religious principles on the basis of the religious principles is dharma yuddha there is no other better engagement for you Arjuna as a kshatriya other than performing this war or other than engaging yourself in this war for us suppose we don't know our dharma and we don't know what to do sometimes we have to make a big endeavor but you are so fortunate that without putting any endeavor much endeavor the exact dharma what you have to do is before you are very fortunate that's what Krishna says to Arjuna to be engaged in this way without putting any much endeavor kshatriya means one who protects others from any harm or danger the politicians are supposed to do that the ruling departments are supposed to do this business of protecting who? The citizens and the subjects. And what do they get in the return? Is they maintain themselves by the taxes in exchange. They have to live, right? It's not just protecting. They have to eat, right? They have to sleep, right? They have to have a life, right? So one of the reasons for Kshatriyas one of the reasons for Arjuna to perform this is because his varna is Kshatriya. Krishna can't go to a Brahmana and tell these all things, because his nature is not to fight. His nature is to give the knowledge. And all the other three varnas depend on Brahmanas for the righteous knowledge. So Krishna is acting as a Brahmana here. Krishna is acting as a spiritual teacher here. He is giving the knowledge. He is like administrator. He is giving administrator Kshatriya dharma, but he is like one who is top over administrator, who is guiding these all varnas properly. And Krishna addresses other reasonings given by Arjuna for not to fight, depending on the results of his actions. He gave certain reasons, right? Krishna in the future address. He already addressed 2 or 3 points. Remaining also he will address in the next session of Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter. Okay. Hopefully we will finish next class tomorrow. We are having backup class for yesterday. Tomorrow we will finish the 2nd chapter. 2nd chapter is the 2nd largest chapter in Bhagavad Gita. 18th chapter has 78 verses and 2nd chapter has 72 verses. So obviously we have to take it in 2 sessions.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is nice. Let me stop the recording and then you can speak. You can share. Hare Krishna.